everyone. Well, what a rainy day in Melbourne. Welcome to our podcast, Trinity Newsroom. We are media students from February intake. And we are doing this podcast for our AT3, so fingers crossed we'll have a great mark. This is Skylar.
This is Isa.
This is Jolene.
Our topic today is about something you've probably all seen on our social media, which is tariffs. But do you really know about it? Today we're mainly gonna talk about what are those and how do they affect us as international students. So for starters, picture this. You walk into Coles after class, grab a bottle of orange juice, and then boom, $9.50 at checkout.
For juice?
Right? I can't believe it either. At first, I thought maybe I grabbed some luxury pressed juice with gold flakes or something. But no, it's the same old orange juice I used to drink a lot.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it isn't inflation or bad eyesight causing the drama here. It's something called tariffs.
Okay, let's be real. Tariffs, they literally sound like the most boring thing ever. Straight out of an economics textbook, right? Something you will skip in lecture. But in reality, tariffs are sneaky. They're quietly messing with our everyday lives as international students.
Wait, tariffs? I'm gonna ask a question on behalf of many people. What are those?
Hold on. I know many people also have this question. Well, tariffs are basically taxes added to imported goods. Governments say tariffs are meant to protect local businesses, like putting up a fence to keep foreign competition out.
Sounds patriotic.
That's true.
But do you know who really pays the bill? Take a wild guess. I'll give you a hint. Not the exporters.
Then the government?
Still no.
Us?
Bingo.
But why?
Well, when countries like the US impose huge tariffs on another country, like Australia, to retaliate or protect its own economy, Australia might as well raise tariffs on US goods, or at least adjust trade policies.
I can add to that. In fact, after the US introduced new tariff policies on April 2nd, 2025, the average US tariff rate soared to 20.6%, the highest in over a century. And that happens to include a 10% baseline tariff on imports from Australia. Shocking, right? It's like we're back to the small holiday era.
And so that's how it makes our every dollar more expensive. Then, another question is, how does this have to do with us, international students?
Well, I gotta say a lot.
Why don't we start small and talk about how tariffs mess with our daily lives first? Groceries, orange juice, eggs, milk, stuff we literally buy every week. Thanks to tariffs, prices creep up bit by bit, and suddenly you're questioning yourself whether strawberries are worth $9 a box.
And it's not just fruit. Shampoo, body wash, face masks, most things you use are imported. And even if they are made here, the raw materials might also be imported, and tariffs raise those costs too.
So, it's still us paying.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't feel like a big deal until you realize you're spending an extra 20 or 30 bucks a week without even noticing.
And let's not forget about delivery apps. Tariffs increase the cost of imported packagings, sauces, even cooking oil. Restaurants obviously won't just eat the cost.
True, they are not kind-hearted enough.
They would definitely add it to your $19 beef noodle bowl, and suddenly you're paying 30 bucks for dinner. I'd rather just cook myself.
Except, who has the time or energy to cook when you've got 2 exams, 3 essays, and 1 group project? So yeah, we pay anyway.
Now let's zoom in on study life. Tariffs don't just make food pricey, they mess with how we study. Laptops, headphones, printers, calculators. Guess what? They are all imported. A laptop that used to be $1,500 now it's $1,800.
And remember, it's not just our wallets. Universities are also feeling the pressure. Do you know that most public schools rely on government funding to function? Well, the truth is that funding isn't enough to cover the rising costs. So, naturally, the financial gap falls on us, the international students. Tuition fees go up again.
Eventually, it's still us students bearing the burden.
And while we're paying more, the quality of uni life doesn't really improve. Library computers, I have to be honest with you, half of them really look like they're running Windows 95. Research funding also keeps shrinking, so professors complain about there's less support for student projects all the time. Even mental health services gets cut down. Those wait lines just gets longer and longer.
So, if I'm understanding this right, tariffs are hitting us in two directions. What we buy for ourselves and what we rely on at uni.
Exactly. Study hard turns into pay hard.
And honestly, it's not just about money. It's about stress. The pressure of studying alone in a country far away from our family is already huge. Now comes the financial crisis.
I can totally relate to that. I, myself, am not come from some millionaire family that can just throw money away. I always start reviewing 1 month before the finals. My friends all say I must be crazy. They say it's not just that hard. But they don't get the importance. I really don't want to pay an extra $50,000 tuition fee to do another year at Trinity if I can't make it to my dream school.
That's what I'm saying. You're already budgeting for tuition, rent, and bills. Then one day you realize, wait, my grocery bill just doubled. My gadgets cost hundreds more. And my takeaway noodles are practically a luxury item now.
That's just depressing. I also had this experience once. Once I went to Coles and wanted to get my favorite matcha ice cream from Japan. Can you believe how much it cost me?
How expensive can an ice cream be?
A total $11. I literally wanted to put it back to the freezer when I saw the price at the checkout counter. Have you ever experienced this kind of thing, Jolene?
Of course. Last Wednesday, I went to Woolies to buy a yogurt. The price was $260. Can you guess how much is it now?
The same?
Nah, it's $3 now. 40 cents up in less than a week.
What?
And it's really not just us complaining here. We actually asked a few international students, our classmates in Trinity, about tariffs, and their answers were very real. One of my friends, Sean, says, I didn't even realize what tariffs were until I came to Australia and see all the news. But now I do because my new laptop cost me $300 more than my old one.
And quote from our dear friend Chen, I expected to budget for tuition and rent, but coffee, $8 for a latte, I didn't plan for that.
Another friend of mine also mentioned she's having a hard time dealing with the rising costs. She said, now I'm thinking about finding a part-time job, working at supermarkets or something, because I don't want to keep asking my parents for more money.
I can imagine it must be really stressful for her. And that's the point. Tariffs aren't just some abstract government thing. They're closely related to us, quietly shaping the way us international students live and study. So, next time you scroll past a trade war headline or your social media, your Twitter or TikTok or something, just don't just swipe. Take a look at it.
Because tariffs aren't just a government issue, they are literally affecting your daily lives. They are exactly the reason your groceries and gadgets feel like luxury goods.
Tariffs, the sneaky invisible tax, making students' life tougher.
So this is all for today's Trinity Newsroom. Again, we're media students from February intake. This is Skylar.
This is Isa.
This is Jolene.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.